John Gill. In his prime, John Gill had it all. As well as being an amazing pro gymnast, he was a standout in the early days of climbing. Being a master calisthenics practitioner, Gill didn't succumb to the usual imbalances of today's ultra-focused pro climbers. He possessed burly size, nice definition, and even had good legs. Alex Honnold. The ultra-famous free soloer has a great body. Kind of hard not to when you spend hours at a time on the wall. These photos of Honnold are ridiculous. He has abs for days. How many of them are there? 8? 10? I lost count. The real question, however, is how much editing did ESPN do? Between the editing and the perfectly optimized lighting, it's safe to assume that these pics exaggerate Alex's physique quite a bit. Nevertheless, Honnold is undoubtedly super chiseled and has great ab genes. Adam Ondra. Is it really surprising that the world's best climber is shredded? Adam Ondra's best assets are his ridiculous shoulders, crazy biceps, and insane back. You can see every muscle fiber in this dude's entire upper body. Ondra's body is obviously the perfect climbing machine, but from a broader standpoint of overall physique, he lacks quite a bit. There are plenty of photos out there of Ondra where he looks downright scrawny. Although his lack of size and balance will keep Adam from winning any bodybuilding comps, this climbing god is the very definition of shredded. Alex Megos. Alex Megos might have the lowest body fat out of any climber on this list. The dude is all muscle, and have you seen his lats? Good lord. In some pictures like this one, it even looks like he has a decent chest too. Chris Sharma. Sharma's physique has it all. While he might not be as ungodly lean as some of the newer school climbers, he still has great definition with a visible, symmetrical six-pack, and he has more size than the typical pro. His crazy muscular back is perhaps his most impressive asset. Sharma makes it high on this list because of his size and balance. Mickael Mawem. One half of the Mawem brothers from France, Mickael is completely shredded. Despite being very low body fat and having crazy definition, Micka has better size than other similarly ripped climbers. He has insanely cut shoulders and biceps and a good chest, but the most impressive point of his physique are his deeply cut six-pack abs and his crazy obliques. Alex Puccio. Alex Puccio is insane. She definitely has the best physique out of any female climber I've ever seen, and regardless of sex, she's one of the best built pro climbers ever. Just look at these pictures. She has crazy size and definition in every muscle of her upper body. Wolfgang Gullich. With his huge chest and biceps, Wolfgang looks more like a bodybuilder than a typical climber. He looks like he belongs in an action movie, and indeed, he was actually Sylvester Stallone's stunt double in the action film Cliffhanger. Gullich's most famous photo is plastered on the walls of climbing gyms all across the world. Aside from being an absolute climbing legend, Wolfgang had one of the most impressive bodies to ever grace the rock. Magnus Midtbo. Everybody's favorite YouTuber, Magnus is never afraid to snatch off his shirt and show off his godlike physique. It's obvious that Magnus has great genetics, possessing muscle bellies that allow him to look like a muscled up tank even when he's super lean. It's clear Magnus has worked hard on his body for a very long time, and he hasn't been afraid to develop muscle groups that aren't necessarily useful for climbing. All of this gives him an amazing overall physique that 99% of the world would be jealous of. Bassa Mawem, the other half of the French Mawem brothers. Bassa isn't built like a typical climber. He's built like an all-around world-class athlete. There's no doubt that Bassa's focus on speed climbing has allowed him to develop more fast twitch muscle fibers than the typical pro. Bassa has insane forearms, biceps, back, and a great chest. And yet, like his brother, his strongest feature is his ridiculous abs. Look at those fuckers. Perfect symmetry and deep cuts. Bassa could easily be a fitness model if he wanted to.